It's time for our pit stop. Here, we take a brief rest. It's a time to refuel, recharge, and explore shorter topics that are meaningful and helpful to us RVers. Welcome to RV Out West. I'm your host, Brooks. There is something about going into business with your family. I've heard many times that it is never a good idea. But KM Resorts, right here in Washington State, is a family-owned and operated network of 8 RV resorts. With resorts out along the coast to resorts near Mount Rainier National Park, they offer a lot of campground solutions for families. In this pit stop, we talk with Kelly, one of the co-owners, and she shares with us how KM Resorts came to be, where she loves to camp here in the Northwest, as well as why KM Resorts is different from other campground resorts. Kelly, thank you for joining us here on RV Out West. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Kelly, why don't you start and tell me a little bit just kind of about yourself?
I grew up in Sumner all my life, and we did not camp very much when I was growing up. We did a lot of Hawaii trips and not camping. I got into camping when my dad first purchased his first RV park in 1987.
And so that was kind of the first time-ish that your whole family had been involved in getting into the RV space.
Yes.
What made your dad want to buy an RV park if you had no experience RVing?
He was in the real estate industry all of his life in Puyallup and Tacoma. And in the 80s, when the real estate market crashed a little bit, he had a friend in Michigan that owned an RV park. So he went back and worked for him for a couple of years and then found one in Alma and moved here. And that was it. That's how it all began.
So then after you guys ended up owning an RV park, did your family go out then and purchase their own RV to have as a family RV? Or
we had rentals at some of the parks. So I just recently have purchased my first RV.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Okay.
We do have cabins at the park. So we do go out and camp a lot at the parks, but we stay in the cabins.
Well, now hold on. What RV? What's your first RV?
We bought a Mercedes Sprinter van.
Oh, nice.
So ready for some adventures this summer.
That's really exciting. Did you buy it? So, like, have you taken your shakedown trip yet? Or
we did. We ski a lot. So we went skiing in Mission Ridge in the parking lot last spring. But we do take it for a lot of road trips.
When did you get involved in camping yourself? Was this, like, later in life? Like, I know you said you just bought your first Class B, but have you tent camped before? Or were you just doing the cabins?
I camped a little at Mount Rainier, in early 20s.
Yeah, okay.
With my now husband.
Okay.
And then we did have a motorhome for KM Resorts, and so we would all take that out a little bit.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Where have been some of your favorite places to camp in the PNW?
The ocean at Ocean Shores.
Okay.
And up in Randall in the mountains.
Okay. So you just had a thing for the mountains. You love
the mountains. I do love the mountains. There's something about the mountains.
Yeah, that's awesome. You mentioned this a little bit about how you got involved in the camping industry with your dad making the purchase of his first property. But what kind of led you down that same path to maybe perhaps follow in his footsteps to some degree?
So 2 of my brothers, actually all 3 of them at one point, worked with my dad. I owned a travel agency in Sumner at that point with my mom. And so I kind of resisted a little bit because I was pretty independent with my own business. And then when it kind of started to turn with the internet, I went into business with my dad, and I was in sales for my first year, and then I went into marketing.
Okay.
So it was a family affair. All of my siblings are in the campground industry. It's now my oldest brother, Kevin, and I own KM. So we have 8 resorts in Washington.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah. Then my brother Mike owns a couple in Oregon, and my brother Craig owns a couple in California.
And are they sister properties? So if somebody has a KM membership, are they allowed to go stay at those other?
Not necessarily.
Oh, you got to talk about that. That needs to be a conversation with your siblings.
Yes.
All right. So why don't we jump in and tell me a bit about KM?
Okay. So as I mentioned, my dad bought his first park in Elma in 1987. And KM came from Kevin, Kelly, my brother Craig with a K, and my brother Mike is how the name came about. After that, he bought, every couple of years, he kept purchasing another RV park. So that's kind of how we've grown into 8 resorts. And then we are affiliated with different resorts across the United States. But I've been there 24 years. So the first one was Elma. And we actually thought he was a little bit nuts buying an RV park in Elma. It is actually the busiest park of ours. We have a lot of people that stay there quite a bit. And then the ocean, we have 2 at Ocean Shores, 2 miles apart from each other, Ocean Mist and Ocean Breeze. Sorry.
Just saying again, Ocean Mist.
Ocean Mist and Ocean Breeze are both located at Ocean Shores. We have one in Sequim called Diamond Point. We have one down in Newport. It's more of a little fishing camp, and it's called Columbia Shores. We have 2 in Eastern Washington. One is in Newport, and it's located on the Ponderay River called Old American. Then we have one called Ponderosa Falls. It's in Cheney. And the last one we have is one of my favorites, which is Maple Grove, and it's up in Randall. So it's on the Cowlitz River, surrounded by the mountains with a little 9-hole golf course.
Let's take a brief break and hear a word from our friends over at CamperAlerts.com. It's summertime and the great outdoors are calling. But did you forget to book a campsite 9 months ago? Well, don't worry. Say goodbye to sold-out campgrounds with Camper Alerts. With Camper Alerts, you can choose your campground, select your site type, and set a personalized alert. And when a site becomes available, they will notify you. It's that simple. Visit CamperAlerts.com today and start setting your alerts.
Why don't you tell me a bit about just general properties, like what are some of the amenities guests and campers can expect when they stay at a KM resort?
Okay, so we're affiliated with Coast to Coast and RPI. So we are required to either be on a body of water or have a pool.
How does a stay work? So if I wanted to book a stay or a listener wanted to book a stay, kind of what is involved in that particular process?
So our members are guaranteed a spot at the park. If they, they're weekend warriors and they decide on Thursday, I have the weekend off, can I go to the park? They can just call us or even on their way, call us. They're always going to have a place to park. That's what separates us from other public resorts, is that once you do have a membership, you're guaranteed access.
And are all signs full hookups?
No, they're not. It varies. Okay. The park down at Ocean Breeze we have over 300 sites there. Most of them are all partials, but we do have a dump station on the way out. So it just depends. Most all of them do have full hookups, but some are partials.
All partials. You explain to me kind of how does that membership work? Is it a one, lump to kind of buy in and then a monthly fee, or kind of how does that work?
So there is a buy-in fee in the beginning, a one-time buy-in fee, and we have several different levels of membership, from very basic, staying maybe just 20 days a year at our parks, up to most of the memberships can stay 14 nights in, then they have to leave the park for 7 and back for 14. And the reason we do that is so that people don't establish their residence at the park, and we keep people flowing so that we do always have that space for our members to come in.
So for a basic membership, can you tell me kind of from a financial standpoint, what is the buy-in cost and whatever?
So our very basic membership,
you said 20 days a year ish?
Yes. Okay. And then they would get a reciprocal, which was the Coast to Coast or the RPI. So they have access to those, but very basic limited use to the KM properties. And the buy-in is around $550 the first time.
And then so it's $550 buy-in, and their annual dues
are $450 a year.
$450 a year.
So once they keep renewing their dues, they still have access. Once they stop paying their dues, their membership just goes away. Yeah, it sounds a little scary at first, but if you pencil it out.
Well, is there anything that I didn't ask that you want to talk about that we should talk about that I maybe missed or oversaw?
We're always looking for park hosts. If there's anyone that is interested in living at the park and being a park host, always open to park hosts. It's be a fun job to live on property and be around the members. And
at all properties, you're looking for park hosts.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to do that, what should they do to get in touch with you guys?
They would call our corporate office.
And what's some of the benefits of being a park host?
Well, they get to live in their site for free, and then we do pay them. There is a hourly wage that we pay, and they're provided all their water, electric, and everything to live.
Kelly, how will they find out more about KM Resorts?
Well, they can go to our website at kmresorts.com. We now have a very fun Instagram page, and we have a Facebook page with activities in it, and there's pictures of our resorts. We have a guy that's been going around and doing a great job taking photos and just talking to people so that potential members can go on those social media platforms and really kind of see the parks and what we're all about. We're family run, so we do like to take care of our members. My brother and I, my husband also works there, and my nephew, and our admin staff has been there 20 plus years. So is our sales staff. So we're there to help our members with any, any concerns or camping plans, and potential members. We would love for you to come and stay and just see what we're all about. We'll take care of you.
That's awesome. Well, Kelly, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You can now text the show. There is a link in the description right there in your podcast app with this episode. So if you have a question about RVing, a topic you'd like me to cover, or if you just want to say hello, please shoot me a text. Thanks again for listening to RV Out West. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already done so, will you kindly give RV Out West a follow on Facebook and Instagram and join in on the conversation? Next Monday's episode, we talk with Jesse and Rachel of A Taste for Adventure. This couple has been living full-time, and they have spent some time here in the Pacific Northwest. We're going to hear about their decision to live a nomadic lifestyle and what they have enjoyed during their time here in Washington State. Thanks so much for listening to RV Out West. Join us again next week. Please like and subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you choose to get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. I sure would appreciate it if you left a rating or a review of the show. Special thanks to Scott Holmes Music for providing us the intro song, We Are One. RV Out West can be found on Instagram and Facebook, where you can interact with us and follow along on our RV adventures around the Pacific Northwest. So get out there, explore, and go see what's beyond the horizon.